This is the Introduction to Accounting 1A. My name is Mark Kirby and I'm going to be your instructor for this semester. I'm an adjunct instructor here at Cabrillo. What that means is I don't have an office. My office really is the classroom where we meet in and hold class. My office hour is the hour before class in the same room. So if you want to come by and ask questions or go over any of the homework, that's what I'm there for. That's the time to do it. If you don't come by, I'm there by myself. I'm alone and lonely, so come on by, ask questions. We can talk about any accounting stuff you want to talk about. As far as getting in contact with me otherwise, since I don't have an office, really the best way to do it is by email. My email address is makirby@cabrillo.edu, and I check my email every day. I check it typically, a couple times a day, but I'm not on it all the time. So, I'll get back to you within 24 hours. If I'm traveling or it's a weekend, I may be gone, and in that circumstance, it may be Monday before you get an answer to your email, but I will get back to you on it. About this class. This class is an introduction to accounting from the user's perspective. Who uses the accounting information? Typically it's business owners, bankers who are making lending decisions, or investors who are looking to either invest in a stock of a company or making a decision to get out of a stock holding that they own currently. Anyway, we're going to focus on the preparation, communication of financial information, and the analysis of financial statements. As part of this, each of you will be selecting two competing companies and preparing an in-depth financial analysis to decide which of them is the best investment choice. That'll be the big project, kind of the capstone of the class. I'll talk about that more in a little bit. Excuse me. The textbook for this class is Financial Accounting by Libby. It looks a lot like that. We're using the 7th edition. This is available in the bookstore. If somehow you have somebody's 6th edition that's still floating around and you got a good deal on it, good for you. Go ahead and use it, bring it to class. The only difference really is that the quantities, the dollar amounts in the homework questions are going to be a little different. So when we're going over the homework in class, it might be a little more difficult for you to follow along. Otherwise, everything is pretty much the same, and feel free to use that 6th edition. You're going to want a calculator for this class. I don't intend for this to be a math class, but it's accounting, so we're going to end up doing basic addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And especially when it comes to exam day, you're going to want a calculator. Let's talk about exams for a moment. There are a total of 5 exams in this class, 4 regular exams in the final. The exams consist of 2 parts. I'm using Blackboard as a communication tool and as part of the instruction process, so there will be a multiple choice part of the exam on Blackboard that you will take at home or wherever you have access to your computer. Then there will be a problem solving part of the exam. That part we will take in class. The problems on that written part of the exam are going to be very, very similar to the homework problems that I assign you out of the textbook. So the best recommendation I can make for you if you want to do well in this class, do the homework. Again, back to the exams. During the exams, you can use a calculator. You cannot use your computer, your tablet, your cell phone for a calculator. No cell phones as calculators, so don't even ask me when it comes to exam day. You have to do your own work. I'm a very big believer in I have a zero tolerance policy for cheating. Absolutely zero. If cheating occurs and you get caught, you get an F. The person you're cheating off of gets an F, automatic. The other thing I've been known to do is I go ahead and if I see somebody cheat, I let them finish the exam. When they turn it in, I let them know that they're getting an F. So you get to do all the work and you still get an F. Lots of fun. Not worth it. Don't do it at all. Homework. Every week we're going to cover material in the text. After it's covered, I will assign homework. The homework we're going to go over in class the following week. Every student, it's your responsibility, and it's part of your grade, to come up and present one of your homework solutions to the class. Accountants in the modern world, communication is a very big part of their job. Excuse me. So I want you to get used to presenting to groups and talking about the work that you're doing with others. Grading policy. I have posted the grading policy along with the syllabus on Blackboard. Blackboard's the instructional tool we're going to be using. I hope you're familiar with it. If you're not, you can get a little training in the Teaching and Learning Center on the Aptos campus, or the Learning Center in the Watsonville campus, which I think is on the second floor. Excuse me. So, grading policy. I've posted that on Blackboard. There are 4 exams. The 4 exams account for about 1/3 of your grade. There's one project, the capstone project I mentioned earlier, and this is worth about 1/3 of your grade. The other 1/3 is your classroom participation and your homework. So I'll be tracking that. Make sure you come up and present at least one of your homework problems, if not a couple, and you should do fine in that category. The project. We're going to start early on the project. We're going to chunk it down into small pieces. We'll break it down into each of its segments, and we're going to work on it the entire semester, all 17 weeks. I want you to go ahead and work in groups. You're going to be collecting a lot of data. We're going to select from a list that I will give you 2 competing companies in the same market segment. So it'll be something like Toyota and GM, or Apple and Dell computers. And what we're going to do is we're going to get the financial information that's publicly available for these companies. We're going to apply the analytics that we're going to learn in class, and we're going to interpret the financial statements and do some analysis, determine which one of them is the better investment, so that you can make a recommendation as to, if you had some hypothetical money to invest, which one would you invest in. We'll talk about the project in a separate video a little later on. I mentioned Blackboard earlier. This class is what's called a hybrid class. So we meet in class, in the classroom, we go over materials in a live lecture like you're used to, but there's also an online component to the class. And I'm using Blackboard to deliver the online component. You may be familiar with it from other classes. If you're not, again, you can get a little training at the Teaching and Learning Center. If you don't know how to find it at all, at the Cabrillo webpage, their homepage, down at the bottom, one of the little icons says Blackboard. Click on it. You can log in with your normal Cabrillo login and password. So on Blackboard, I've posted, like I said, copies of the syllabus, the class schedule, which we will go over the first day, but I'm not going to go over the syllabus, and the grading policy. I will be posting your grades directly on Blackboard. Only you can see them, so you can go in at any time and look and see where you're at in the class. Oh, and Blackboard also has a discussion tool. You can go in and set up discussion threads. You can post questions about homework or the project, or set up meeting times with the rest of your group that you're working on the project with. If you're posting questions, other class members can respond and give you a little bit of help. And if no one is, sometimes I jump in and I'll post responses to the questions as well. With that said, this is really meant to cover the syllabus for the class, so we can jump in right away in the first class and get to learning instead of going over, the administrative part of what goes on. So, your homework for week 1, and I'd like you to do it before you come to class. Read chapter 1 in the book. Also, read the syllabus, have a look at the schedule that I've posted on Blackboard, and the grading policy. Make sure you log into Blackboard. Well, you have to get those anyway, but once you log in, while you're there, I've set up an assessment for the syllabus. It's a great big 10 questions, and I'm only trying to just know that you indeed went in and did read through the syllabus. Go in and take that assessment online. It give you practice for when we have the exams later on. Other things I've posted on Blackboard. Lots of information there. All the PowerPoint slides that I use in class or might use in class are already out there. So you can go through and use those to study on your own or as a refresher. Thumb through them. They're in their own little folder that's called PowerPoint presentations. I'll be posting other videos like this to help you through the project or some of the more difficult accounting instructional topics. And then there's also some links to websites where you might find some information that could be useful to you if you're looking at accounting as a career, things of that nature. If you have any questions about what I've covered in this video, please bring them to the first class. I'd love to get a little bit of feedback on it. But come to class prepared. Class is a lot more fun when everybody comes prepared and everybody gets involved and participates. There's always some great discussion. We learn things from each other. Some of you will undoubtedly have jobs in accounting, and you can share some of your real-world experiences with us, and we can go over them. Well, anyway, I look forward to seeing you in class. I hope we have some fun this semester. I want it to be fun. If you need to get a hold of me, remember, email is the best way to do it. I'll get back to you within a day or so, and I look forward to seeing you in class.